Back up, Basketball Jones. Welcome, everybody, to the Canadian Bro Show. My name is Paul Bale. I'm the founder and host of the Canadian Bro Show, and welcome to the second iteration in our second season of the Canadian Bro Show. We are doing a preseason basketball, all basketball from the Hoopjunkies, Pauly and Rowley, and I'm really excited to start our second season. We did 29 episodes last year, and this handsome chap that's looking extremely healthy. And I don't know what the sun is in St. Paul, Alberta, but whatever it's doing, I guess what happens when you live on a golf course. Welcome my co-hosts of the most, the other co-hosts of the most. I'm blessed to have two of them. And if I could clone them, I would clone both of them multiple times. And that would be one way to continue to grow the show. But this is the second iteration. The first iteration, we've done about 54 episodes. It's all on sort of Canadian pop culture. Here, Trent and I, Pauly and Rowley, otherwise known as the Hoopjunkies, we like to talk about basketball, and basketball almost exclusively. And it is the preseason premiere of 2025-26. And to my left and your right, the handsome and talented, charismatic Mr. Trent Rowley. Trent, thank you for joining us. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good. I'm just make sure everybody knows when they look at the screen that I'm not being hurt by the corner of the logo that's poking in the middle of my head. Nobody has to worry about that.
I
Everything's
did
good.
actually make it smaller, but Trent's head is
Oh,
the size of a suitcase. So you
yeah,
got
that's
to
the problem. Yeah,
well,
that's the
it's
problem.
having a big head is not a problem for most people. It
Yeah,
depends on which head you're talking about, but
my head looks
um,
bigger because the camera's so close. You got to fade that camera out so you don't look like your little bucket head over there. So
well, you always said my head was bigger than yours, so we're not having a head battle here. Um,
yeah, let's
however,
not.
however, I will just show everybody how large your head really is by just eliminating that significantly. Is that better? All right, so Trent, welcome. And what we'd like to do is last season for those that haven't joined us before. This is a Canadian brochure. We focus on pop culture. We focus on real estate. We focus on basketball. All things invented by Canadians, not necessarily real estate, but certainly basketball, lacrosse, hockey, or ice hockey, that is, and Canadian football. And my co-host with the most, Trent Rowley, is his specialty, amongst other things, is the WNBA. We're hoop junkies, but Trent has got me hooked on the WNBA. Thank goodness last year when I finally figured out who Caitlin Clark was, and is going to be, and she's a force of nature, much like Trent. Trent, how you doing, bro? Tell me what's been going on. How was your summer? You've had a nice time off.
Yeah, it's been good. Work and golf and got a new dog. So life is good. Yeah,
Roscoe,
Roscoe. Yeah.
Roscoe.
Roscoe hasn't come down to the basement yet. He's still a little sketchy in the basement, so
Yeah, he's got to get to know
kind of
you
fun.
first. Yeah, it'll
But
happen.
it's only been a month, so 3 weeks actually, so it'll be good. So,
So what we'd like to
but yeah,
talk about
other than that,
is Trent's from St. Paul, Alberta, a small community, really nice community, just sort of south of Lloydminster, north of Edmonton, not too far off the British Columbia province of BC. And Trent, let's talk about the WNBA. It's been absolutely bonkers what's going on. You want to get into the season, how it finished, and then talk about a
I
little bit
mean,
about the craziness that's going on in this league?
the season is, I mean, the season was a disappointment for anybody that was brought on board by Caitlin Clark, being that she was hurt for most of it.
Yeah,
Um, there were still some good games. Vegas put a crazy streak together near the end of the season. I believe they won like 16 straight games
yeah.
to get into second place. Like they had struggled most of the year. Um, Minnesota was the best team all year, and unfortunately, some injuries when they played Phoenix in the playoffs didn't help them.
Yeah.
And then the Fever, I mean, to get all the way to the semifinals and take the Aces, who swept the Phoenix Mercury in the finals, took the Aces to overtime in Game Five.
Yeah.
I mean, outside of a few questionable calls in that game, fouling out Elisa Boston with just a terrible call, uh, and then Kelsey Mitchell pulling up lame. Uh,
I actually turned
yeah,
the game off on that
well,
call. I was so upset, man.
that was crazy. And then for her to get all of a sudden, she had some, and I can't remember what they were calling it, but she's so dehydrated that the blood, like she was having issues with her quad. And I don't know what the name for it was for Kelsey Mitchell, which is not surprising that she'd be dehydrated. She
It's
played
called
so many minutes. Such a great
dehydration
player.
and lack of stretching and lack of fluids.
But
Dude, you have to do all those at that level.
but Vegas won. They have the MVP of the league. She's the MVP. Aja Wilson, MVP of the finals. I like to call her Asia Special Wilson, Special Whistle Wilson, because
Yeah.
uh, she had one foul the entire game in Game Five, and Boston's fouling out. I mean, come on, guys. They're both playing against each other. It's very physical, letting them play. But one
Yeah.
player's got six fouls.
Yeah.
The other one has one. I mean, come on. We need
You
to do
know,
better. And
it's one of the biggest problems of that league, and it has lots of problems. But we'll try to stay positive because it
yeah,
was a championship. They made a great run. It's their third championship, the Aces,
yeah.
and the MVP is perhaps the best player in the league. And when her and Bam actually get together, get married, and start having a family, you can just imagine the talent that's going to come from those
Who
two.
knows? Yeah, who knows, right? It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah,
But I mean, the best team. I mean, they were the best
she's a
team. They
talented young lady, man.
unbelievable player. I mean, she's only
Yeah.
29, right? She's an
Wow.
unbelievable player.
Only.
Um, but they
Only.
had three Olympians on that team right
Yeah.
there. It's not like it's a terrible team, right? It's a very good team.
Yeah.
They struggled during the season, but I mean, they got it together. Becky Hammonds, I mean, could legitimately probably coach the NBA. I mean,
Well, she
after
was
being with Greg
before she went
Popovich,
back to the WNBA.
that but she could be legitimately probably a coach in that league.
Wasn't she
Um,
the associate head coach with Pop at San
yeah, and then
Antonio
she
before?
ended up being coach for a few games as well.
Yeah.
When he wasn't there,
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Unfortunately,
um,
he's still with us,
the big
healing.
the big the big news that overshadowed all of that was and I'm going to say it flat out, and I've said this
Please,
before.
please, please.
The stupid uh, commissioner, Kathy Engelbert, I think is her name, comes out that they're again like we've talked about. 75% of the league is going to be a free agents this year.
Yeah.
They're negotiating a CBA.
Yeah.
They're asking for more. They're asking for more than what they should get, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just
Mm-hmm.
like, hey guys, you just took a leap here in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
That leap happened because of the players that are coming into the league, not because of the players that were in the league, and that's what makes them very, very. That's what makes them jealous and petty, is because they're going, "Hey, we've been doing this for how many years, and now you're just recognizing it." Well, that's the way talent works, guys. I'm
You know,
sorry,
jealous and
right?
pettiness is
It's
absolutely, but honestly, it makes them vulnerable because it shows they've just played. They're not playing Texas Hold'em. They don't have their two cards to their chest. They just laid all the cards on the table and they just blew it up. And
so.
it's honestly everybody is talking about it. Trent, really quick,
Oh, it was
this
bigger than the finals.
racist overtone that's happening in the WNBA and a lot more. So please go on. Just enlighten us. What the heck is going on with this league?
Nafisa Collier, could have been the MVP in the league. She was right
Yeah.
there in the voting with Wilson.
Yeah.
She's one of the leads for the player reps,
Yeah.
and she basically, when she was out of the playoffs, came out and just flat out said, "Here's what's been said in private meetings." Brought up that, hey, we're about to negotiate a new deal, TV deal.
Yeah.
Well, you're negotiating that new TV deal because of certain people that have come into the league. Again, and then the comment that
It's quite
Engelbert denies
obvious,
was
isn't
ever,
it? It's quite
well,
obvious.
and what Engelbert denies what was said, but Collier just said flat out that uh, when Collier brought up to her that some of these players that are coming in, like the Angel Reeses, the Clarks, and other younger players, Beckers, we should be paying them more, not rookie contracts, because they're bringing guys that haven't been here before. That's why you're getting all this other stuff that's going to happen. And then her
And by the
comment
way,
was,
who doesn't follow WNBA? Engelbert is the general manager or the.
"No, she's the commissioner.
Well, I mean, she is honestly,
She's the
she is not
commissioner of
going
the
to.
league."
She's
So
going to be the commissioner for a very short period of time. She's
I
gone.
don't think she can be there after what went on.
No,
But then Collier said that after that conversation, she made the comment of basically the players should be thanking her because she's negotiating the deal. Well, nobody again, and then saying, well, Caitlin Clark should be thankful for the for the opportunity she's gotten here to get all those endorsements.
yeah,
Okay, listen, lady. she had all those endorsements before she ever got to the WNBA.
Right?
She brought you the biggest ratings you've ever had in the history of the league in her first year. And it did put us, what I think, for me personally, I actually think the biggest thing that happened was, and it's not, again, it's not Asia Wilson's fault, DeFeece Collier's fault, uh, Sue Bird, all these other players. It's not their fault. It just happened that somebody lit a spark in people that they wanted to watch, and it brought all those eyes to the league. Well, guess what? Lots of those people aren't just Caitlin Clark fans now. Now they're Kelsey Plum fans. Now
Yeah.
they're Asia Wilson fans. Now
Yeah.
they're Jackie Young fans. Now they're Sabrina Ionescu fans. I mean, that is the key of what's happened here. So to
Yeah.
make those types of comments as the person that's supposed to be running this thing, and then every single team has complained, and it doesn't matter if they win the game. That's the thing one people don't understand either when we bring up the officiating in the WNBA, which we have. It's terrible. But everybody goes, "Oh, well, people always complain about the officiating when they lose." Guys, people are complaining about the officiating even when they win games. It's
Because
just
the
that.
officiating is absolutely
Like, did you
atrocious.
see the Phoenix coach get chucked? He got
Dude,
chucked, two technicals by
honestly,
the girl,
I
and
have to
meanwhile
turn
Becky
it
Hammon's
off.
running up and down this. It was
I
ridiculous. Like, it was totally
it's
ridiculous.
like a gong show, bro. It's
No,
embarrassing what's going
yeah,
on. And this
yeah,
league has been around in the last season we talked about this. I asked
yeah,
you because I didn't
yeah.
know. And
Yeah,
you
it's like
said the
90,
league started in 2016 or
no, like
something?
96, 96, 97.
Oh
It's
my
been
God,
around for
even worse.
forever. Yeah, exactly.
What the hell is going on, bro?
Exactly. Right?
That's just
It is.
crazy.
It's
It's
so bad.
absolutely, it's like a bad soap
Yeah,
opera. It's
it's
really
so bad.
embarrassing,
And
man.
it's so much talent in this league coming into this league
And the
that has
worst
come in the
timing,
last.
is it not the worst timing for a league that's
Oh,
ready on the
yeah,
precipice
yeah,
of explosion in the
yeah,
21st century and leading
yeah,
female professional basketball,
yeah,
where it's already a global phenom?
yeah,
But of course, the Western Hemisphere and the NBA and the WNBA have to lead because that's where they are.
yeah,
So please go on.
yeah. No, it's I'm hoping everybody, like, again, hopefully Caitlin come back healthy next year. I mean, they had a lot of players. I mean, for Indiana to be that close,
Yeah,
basically a bucket away from the finals with
yeah,
a starting lineup that was in the injury reserve, basically. I mean, very
yeah,
close.
yeah.
But I mean, kudos to them. Just the heart they showed to even get there.
Incredible.
I hope people realize how good Kelsey Mitchell is. And
Yeah.
Aaliyah Boston had a coming out year this year.
Oh, love
With
her.
her and Caitlin are like Karl Malone and John Stockton in pick and roll.
But
I
then,
mean, it's
you look at the
unstoppable.
other team when all those guys are down and they're going into OT
Yeah,
and losing, and there's four players that are not their starters on the court.
yeah.
It just shows the character and the resilience these
And
gals
coaching,
have.
great coaching too. She
Great
did a great job.
coaching.
She did a
Great
great job
coaching.
to
Great
motivate them
pickup.
to play that way, right?
Yeah,
To motivate those people to
absolutely.
play that hard
Yeah,
to
yeah.
get to where they got. I mean, is it was super impressive.
Yeah, very
That was the other
impressive.
comment that was great as well. Is unfortunately she's an unrestricted free agent, Sophie Cunningham, but I'm hoping that Indiana can figure out a way to keep
She's
her.
coming back. She's coming back.
Lexi Hall's a restricted free agent, so hopefully
She's
they're
coming
able to
back.
keep her as well.
She's coming back.
But Sophie Cunningham made a great comment when she said she's got this podcast she doesn't hold back, and
Yeah.
she just said nobody is after hearing the comments about Caitlin Clark should be thankful for the WNBA and all the money she makes sponsor wise. After Engelbert made that stupid comment, Sophie Cunningham goes, "If it wasn't for Caitlin Clark, nobody would know even who the commissioner of this league was."
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just
It's so
started
true.
laughing. I'm like,
So
it's like
true.
so good.
But
It's like
obviously
it's
she's
like
biased
so good.
because she also got Caitlin gifted her a Nike deal
Of
worth
course,
18 million or something crazy. And honestly, I love that gal. I love her
yeah,
character.
right.
She's
They have a really
fearless.
great bond that team.
They
That
have
team has something for
There,
sure.
oh, most definitely. In the beginning and last season, in the very first episode of doing this, without me knowing what the hell I was talking about at the end, WNBA, I said that the Fever was going to win the championship and win the whole thing. And if they were healthy and the refereeing was at least somewhat
Even if they were
less
healthy, referee aside,
atrocious,
think
they
about
would
them
have
being
won the
healthy.
whole thing. But the Aces, give them kudos.
Oh,
They
for
deserve it. It
even
just shows
that's
you.
three and 4 years.
It
That's three
show
and 4 years,
but it also
right?
shows you in the 14 teams there's room for expansion.
Yeah,
Toronto Tempo are coming next year. There's going to
Portland.
be, yeah, Portland's coming back, which is great. I like what they're doing,
Yeah.
and it's exciting. Trent, did you want to close off the WNBA with anything you
Oh,
want to
I look
finish?
forward to next year. I can't.
Yeah,
You need to see who goes in the draft. Who's going to be there next year? There's
yeah,
going to be some really good players next year again. It'll be
yeah, for
curious
sure.
to see. But again, they got to sign a CBA. You have the Unrivaled League, which is Nafisa Collier and Brianna Stewart started, and they were paying the players more than they made in the W.
Yeah,
It was 3-on-3, but it's like again, it was good. I think it's great that the gals get to stay in North America and make that kind of money and not have to go play in China and Saudi Arabia and all these other places, Mexico, to make money. They get to
yeah,
stay in and make that kind of money in the U.S. But and it was good. It's probably good for their. It's obviously good for their skills.
yeah.
It helped Lexi Hall for sure. There's no problem, no question about that. But
Who, by the way, is a really nice piece with them too.
they've got a league now that is paying players more, even though it's only 3-on-3. Did they decide that, hey, maybe we expand to 5-on-5 and just say, screw you guys, we won't sign anything? I don't think that's would be good for them. I think for me at the end of it, I hope the players realize that I get you want to be paid what you're worth, but you just became worth that the last couple of years when it comes to viewership and sponsorship. That doesn't have anything to say about your talent. It has nothing to do with the talent.
No,
But
no,
the league itself has just got into a position in the last 2 years to actually pay you more. But let's not get carried away. As much as I love women's basketball, the league itself loses money every year and is subsidized by the NBA. That's a reality. You
yeah,
want to be paid more, then your league needs to make money. So
yeah,
you need to figure out how does the league make money. And so let's not get, you know, I get it. I want them to be paid more, but at the same time, let's be smart about it as well. Your
yeah,
league is just, again, as I've said right from the start, this is the golden age for women's basketball. It has the potential for that, but
yeah.
they got to get some people to get out of the way because there's some people that are holding it back right now, and
Well,
that's how I'll leave it.
the
So,
the people holding them back are the politics of the WNBA, and those there's some conflicting bad karma shit going on in that league, and the referee situation.
uh,
At the end of the season, they're fining everybody. They're trying to place blame on somebody. They're taking the worst refs, the worst
yeah,
coaches, the worst owners, and they're getting rid of them. And that's what they do. This is what happens when a league is just
yeah,
starting. This league didn't just
no,
start. However, since Caitlin came in and others that have been there, this league is going to blow up, and I think it's on
yeah,
the precipice
yeah,
of going to be the top female basketball league
yeah,
in the world.
of course,
And Trent, I thank you for getting me involved. I've actually both Trent and I, as basketball hoop junkies and players and coaches, we both coach female and male and children and adult basketball teams, and coaching female basketball for both Trent and I, we've talked about this many times. It's been probably one of the more satisfactory
yeah,
coaching experiences I've ever had because of the dynamic that is the female persuasion and how remarkable these ladies are and how they transcend the game of sports, from the female perspective in such a positive light. And the stuff and the crap that you're seeing in the WNBA is not what is really going on in
right,
professional female basketball and female sports.
yeah,
They're some of the most remarkable athletes, and we are both blessed to be able to be a part of learning from these incredible ladies, these women, these young women and veterans about how we can learn how to teach basketball to all groups. And both Trent and I are very encouraged. And thanks for the opening, Trent. That was really good.
yeah.
Is there anything you want to finish with the WM before
No,
we
that's
go
it.
into
Let's
fantasy?
onward and upward. That's all.
Yeah, sounds good. That was really nice, and here we are. Right now, we like to go into, because it is the preseason. So in the preseason of NBA basketball, I believe the league starts on October 22nd. Today's October the 13th. I'm filming in Kelowna. Trent's filming in St. Paul, Alberta. We're less than 2 weeks away from the season. The WNBA is finished and the NBA is starting, and in the meantime, Trent and I both, we just drafted, and we did this for the first time last year. We got a team in the Yahoo NBA fantasy basketball league, and
The
it's
platinum users.
the platinum users. Yeah, did you check that
Hmm.
yet?
I didn't
Did,
check it, but I know I'm only gold. But I went from
no,
bronze
but
to gold last
only
year. So
gold. You were bronze before you got gold. So
that's
in
how
one
easy this
year, you
shit
went
is.
from bronze to gold. I mean, it's like,
That's just how easy. That's how easy this shit is.
well, it's
From bronze
because
to
it's
gold.
not how easy it is. It's when you have the talent that Trent has. It's he transcends himself to the higher 1% of every league that he joins.
Yeah,
And if you didn't know that, he'd be happy to share that with you. If you
yeah,
want to
feel
leave
free to ask me.
comments and you want to ask him why is he so good, he'd be happy to share that with you.
I'll
We'd be
gladly
happy to
tell you how
answer
great I
any
am.
questions. If
No
you
problem.
enjoy this content, please subscribe and like and share and comment, because we're going into our second season right now, and I'm a huge NBA basketball fantasy general manager and owner for 23 years now. And I'm only doing that because I knew at some point as I got older, I just turned 60, that I would not be able to play basketball anymore. So I really wanted to have my, just a little piece in the game still, aside from my basketball addiction. And that's why we call ourselves Hoop Junkies, because that's what we are. We're Hoop Junkies. We love basketball. Trent loves sports. I love sports. But when it comes to basketball, we've been debating and going against each other and with each other for the better part of 4 decades. So this is exciting for us. We've been looking forward to it. We gave Trent a little holiday away from the Canadian Bro Show, and more importantly, myself, because I can be slightly overbearing,
Sure,
intense,
whatever word you want to use.
competitive, insatiable. I'm a hoop junkie, man. That's all. I don't need to explain myself
Fair going,
anymore.
show
But
you.
but here we are. I want to go into fantasy basketball and do a prelim. This is going to be a little bit longer segment than normal, but we're only doing a short show anyways. It's going to be on Trent's opening
Yeah,
of the WNBA and then fantasy, and we're going to start our first episode, which will be episode 31 next week, on our Western Conference, Eastern Conference, talk about trades, talk about what's going on in the preseason, any injuries that are going on, because if you watch basketball, the injuries are just, and it's not because it's 82 games, it's just because the players today are a little softer than they were 20, 30 years ago. But, that's a whole different episode we can
exactly.
talk about. But in the meantime, fantasy basketball is upon us, and Trent and I both drafted in our last year. We drafted in our league together. And Trent, you drafted seventh this year as 10 teams, right? You were
Yeah,
seventh,
seven.
I believe, which is really
Terrible.
out of 10 teams, not the best
No, it's a terrible
location.
spot. No question.
Yeah, and 10th, actually, a lot of people can look at 10th as being a terrible spot, but ideally, if you know what
I
you're
don't mind
doing,
that. Yeah, the
10th can
fact you
be
get to
really
pick
good
twice.
because you get 2 picks in a row. But at the saying, when you're hoop junkies and you have the scope and knowledge that both the hoop junkies do and the Canadian Bro Show, we can pretty much get through anything and still be in the game. And last year, Trent and I drafted ninth and 10th. Trent was ninth. I was 10th. No, pardon me. I was ninth. He was 10th. I can't remember now.
No, no, I was ninth. You were 10th.
Oh, right. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
And
You
I
were 10th both
actually,
years.
and
Yeah.
I was 10th again this year. And last year, I drafted kind of, when you have 10th, you get 2 picks in a row. Yeah, you got to wait 20 picks until you get that next, and then it changes over halfway through. If you know what you're doing, you can stack your team very
Yeah.
easily because it's 10 teams, it's not 12 teams. And Trent's really unique. He follows a different philosophy, or we have similar philosophies. We like to stack our guards, we like to stack our bigs, and then fill guys that can fill the 9 categories. This is a 9 category head to head league. So, as an example, for those that don't know, if Trent and I had to play each other in the first week, we would play each other for 7 days. Doesn't mean that our teams are playing 7 days. It just means that we have at our disposal, all of our teams, and we can play against each other on and dominate those categories. And those are 9 categories, and that goes for the week, and this goes through the whole season. There are many different ways of playing fantasy basketball. We just choose to do that one. And once again, Trent and I had a really good. I think it was pretty good. Are you happy with your choices at this point?
Yeah, I'm good. I
Yeah,
got lots of people that are threes and rebounds, and
yeah.
yeah, I
Trent's
mean,
always really good at diversifying his teams. And I have a little bit different philosophy, but when we do it, we talk to each other during the thing and we help each other out because we're
no,
voting. We're
definitely do not help each
a
other.
little bit. Today we did a little bit. Last year we didn't because Trent stole 5 of my picks, and I will never do that again. But I'm a kind soul. I'm a generous soul, and it's easy for people to take advantage of
Yes,
kind
we
and
helped each
generous
other out.
souls.
Yeah, we
We
helped each
did.
other out.
I
Yes, we
help
did.
you. You don't help me.
You
I,
don't help me. Oh
I'm
my
trying to
God.
get. I'm trying to. You got 3 picks to go, and I'm trying to find out who you're picking. It's like I can't tell you because you're going
I'm
to
not
take them.
telling you.
No, you can't take them if you're drafting before me. But anyways, let's get into. I follow Yahoo Basketball Fantasy, and the Magna Carta is Dan Titus, and Dan Titus is one of my favorite basketball fantasy analysis. And I just sort of loosely follow his system because it's really aligned with mine. And really quick, and not to get into it, understanding your league scoring system. It sounds simple, but if you're new to this, you have to understand the format in the league. So I'm going to bypass this entire first section because we only play one aspect of fantasy, and that is head to head 9 category fantasy basketball. 9 category means foul shooting, field goal shooting, 3-point shooting, turnovers, assists, foul, everything, all the things that matter, block shots, steals, how many threes you make, how many dimes you drop, how many boards you get, and you compete against that team for 7 days. And that as the league progresses, 28, 29 seasons or weeks later, you get into the finals. And so there's many different ways. The number one popular fantasy basketball is head-to-head 9 categories. And when you're doing 9 categories, you want to focus on building for balance. Obviously, with 9 categories, you want to try to dominate the majority of those categories. And more often than not, you don't want to dominate all of them because the 2 or 3 can be vastly detrimental to dominating 8 prior, and that is turnovers, foul shooting, lack of 3-point shooting as an example of 3 categories that can decimate no matter how good you think your team is. At the end of the day, it's build on balance. Focus on balance and efficiency, prioritizing players who contribute without tanking percentages or turnovers, as I said. Punting categories. Don't get into punting. You're not good enough to think that you can punt categories. However, if you are good enough and you want to punt a category, I'd recommend turnovers because the vast
Yeah.
majority of the players that I pick have high turnover, but they also have high assists and their high shooting percentages, high IQ. So I'll just leave it at that. I don't want to convolute this at all. Then the next thing I want to talk about is the availability factor. Durability, obviously, Trent and I talk about
A lot of
injuries.
contusions out there. A lot of
Oh my
contusions.
God, a lot of far too many contusions. And that was the injury of choice last season. The injury of choice this year, I'm thinking it's going to be big toe contusions. And I partied too hard at the strip club on the weekend for certain teams,
And ate too many hot wings.
and I ate
We'll
too
call,
many hot wings,
we'll
and I
call
had
that the we'll call that the Lou Williams special.
absolutely, and Lou Williams he'd be running to the bathroom with flames coming out of his ass, and that was his excuse not to play. It wasn't because he ate too many hot wings. He was in the club till 5 a.m. drinking like a
Yeah.
demon, and he admits it. And so at the end of the day, there are different types of fantasy. We're going to focus on 9 category head-to-head leagues. Reasonable doubt. Draft mistakes to avoid. My goodness, if you could imagine that you had this knowledge before you started your draft. And it doesn't happen that way, but here at the Canadian Bro Show, we want to help you be better fantasy basketball players. Selecting injured players, highly not recommended. Stay away from injured players, not just injured players before the season starts, which is something to
Yeah.
take into consideration, but injured players that are injured their entire freaking careers.
Yep.
Stay away from them. Don't bother. We won't go there. We could talk about 100 of them, and
That's
I never
exactly
draft
why I
any of
didn't
them.
draft Chris. That's exactly why I took my boy Zubak over Porzingis in like the 7th round today. I
And
mean,
good
Porzingis
choice.
will get me threes, but
Yeah,
Porzingis is going to play 50 games.
yeah, every year,
Zubac's going to play over 70.
and that's a good year.
Yeah.
and Zubac has gotten better. The Lakers
Yeah.
gave him away for nothing, and it was just the stupidest move you could make.
Double
Okay.
mistake.
If you're going to be a reasonable doubt, draft mistakes to avoid, not setting your draft queue. So I always get to my draft at 30 minutes before the draft. You find out which area randomly you're chosen to draft in. In our case, 10 teams. And so I'm taking 3 or 4 deep in every single position at 10 players in a team, because ultimately, regardless of where you draft, somebody before you is going to take multiple
Yeah,
players. They're going to take everything that you
of
want.
course.
You've got to have depth. And you have to stack at least 3 to 5 players on your queue and make yourself from a panic mode to an auto pick mode. If you're in a shark infested waters, make it 10 players. And the way we play, we're always in shark infested because we play
Yeah.
in the top 1% of fantasy basketball. And the other is punting. Don't overcomplicate your draft if you're not experienced or practice, so ignore punting. And punting is something
Look
that's
at
done
people
in
you want.
rugby and it's done in football, American football. Don't even bother with basketball. Would you say, sorry?
I would just tell people again, you can look at whatever you want, expert rank, ADP, uh, the other one there that's on there. Uh,
Rotisserie, points.
yeah, realistically, especially in a 10-team league, you're going to get lots of good players.
Yeah.
So because you're playing fantasy, there's nothing you can do about pick the players you want to pick. Pick the players you like to watch, right?
Pick the
At
players
least,
you want.
at least, at least when if they stink it up, well, then you can just blame yourself. You picked them. You thought, hey, I
Yeah,
thought that guy was going to have a
exactly.
better year this year. That's what it's about. Pick the players that you want to. I mean, I'm trying my hardest to take at least one Raptor, just because I'm going to watch a lot of Raptor games,
Yeah, and we're
right?
Canadian, eh?
So I would just tell people there's strategy, but at the same time, in a 10-team draft, there's so many good players. You can
So,
just, you
Trent, your
know,
timing couldn't be any better. On to the next. Top players to avoid because of a variety of reasons. One is injuries, 2 is character, 3 is terrible
right.
team,
Yeah, there's lots of
4
what-ifs. Yeah,
there's so many. And one that I hate to admit because he's one of my favorite bigs is Jaren Jackson Jr. As much as I love him, the guy
yeah,
is always injured and he's barely playing 50 games. And they're on a team where if he's healthy, he could dominate his position in the league
it's
at
such a
power
good
forward
player.
and center. He doesn't rebound well, but he gets threes and he blocks shots and
Yeah,
he's a good character guy, and I
yeah,
like him. I like him. It's just
yeah.
something I don't know what it is. I like him, but the people that did this, Dan Titus says JJJ's fantasy value is inflated by blocks. Well, he didn't
Yeah,
have such a great block year last year, that's for sure.
yeah,
But his low rebounding, assists, and inconsistent scoring, as well as far too many injuries, entering the season injured, which he's not a big fan of, Titus. He doesn't like guys that are injured initially. Yeah,
yeah.
if it's an ankle turn and they do it in preseason, okay, whatever. But at the end of the day, if the guy's injury prone like this next player, I would avoid him. However, I watched this next player play last night, and it's Kawhi Leonard of the Los
Yep.
Angeles Clippers, and he has just an absolute atrocious injury history as well as hiring his uncle as an agent. Not really the best
Game
move.
management.
Yeah, not really the best thing you could do, especially with all the shit that's going on with the Clips right now and $28 million contract that came through a back door that didn't exist
What a surprise.
through a company that doesn't exist is bankrupt. I mean,
I mean,
anyways,
Steve Ballmer didn't make all his money the honest way. None of these billionaires ever
dude,
made their money all the
the,
honest way.
the
Really?
big question for you is I love that interjection, but seriously, if you're a billionaire, why do billionaires need this desire to have more money
It's
and
crazy.
and not pay taxes? What's
Greed,
wrong
man.
with these people, bro?
It's one of those things. Just greed.
Oh my God. Anyways, Leonard's injury history, everybody knows, and focus on postseason health makes it unlikely he plays more than 50 games. Well, he hasn't so far.
Yeah.
While valuable in Roto and high score leagues, which is brand new, he's a risky 5th-round pick in 9 kit. I'm not taking him, but I watched the game last night, and the Clips are the oldest team in the history of the NBA at 34 years on average, and they are stacked deep. They got
They
good
are.
coaching. They got depth. They got a brand new
Yep.
Intuit arena that's amazing, and the aforementioned billionaire owner. So at the end of the day, you like what you like, and what you don't, move on and like
Yep.
find something you like. And the next person I want to talk about is someone that I really like. I never thought I would ever talk about him at this level, and that's Josh Hart. I never thought Josh Hart would be at the level that he's at last season when Tibbs was there and they overplayed everyone at 43 minutes a game. Is that possible? I think there's only 48 minutes in a game, but
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was crazy. And with Mitchell Robinson coming back and the new coach and Tibbs gone, they're going double bigs, double 7-footers. They're going Towns and Mitchell Robinson, and then bringing in guys off the bench, and I like it. And Brown's done a good job. He won the Coach of the Year twice, and
He
then
wins.
last year,
He wins for a couple of years everywhere he goes.
yeah,
So
and then he gets fired. So he wins Coach of the Year, and the next season he's fired. So it's like if you win Coach of the Year in the NBA, you're guaranteed to be fired the next year. That's how it works.
Dwayne Casey.
Yeah, I mean, I could say more. The other guy, Paul George. Trent loves Paul
Podcast
George.
Paul. Podcast Paul, man.
Podcast Paul, and I saw his podcast the other night, and the blunt they had was bigger than his hand, and his hand.
That dude's done more podcasts in the last 3 years than he's played
Dude, they
games.
were so baked. It was unbelievable, and it's legal. I didn't think it was
I love
illegal
it.
in the States.
I love
But
it.
Paul George has had yet another arthroscopic knee surgery and no firm time honestly, just retire, bro. Just do
Yeah.
podcasting, smoke a blunt, and
Yeah.
you're a nice
Enjoy
cat.
life. You've made
Your podcast excellent.
$300 million.
Right, and then at the end of the day, you in fantasy you have to look at
Yeah.
a star is born, top breakouts, or a star needs to be born because they're so freaking late. Come on, let's go.
Yeah.
But a star is born, and it's on the tip of everybody's tongue. I'm not a big fan. I get why everybody's talking about him. They're drafting him way too early, and that's Asar Thompson with the Detroit Pistons. Supposedly the better twin of.
See, it's the other guy.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And honestly, I don't draft him because all the players I draft can shoot, can score, are consistent, and Asar is not quite there yet. Great defensive player. They have depth issues on Detroit. Yes, I get it. I understand why they're doing it, but he can't shoot foul shots, and he's injured quite often. The next one is Trent loves is Andrew Nemhart.
Yeah, man, he's going to have a good year this year.
Yeah.
Watch.
Yeah.
With no Halliburton, he's going to have a good season. He'd be a good pickup in a late round.
Absolutely.
Because he's going to get assists. He's going to get threes. He's going to
He
get
doesn't
steals.
put up gaudy numbers, but he's consistent across the board.
Yeah. He's good at every category. He's going to get a little bit of everything.
And the issue is that their backup point guard is perhaps even better, and that's TJ McConnell.
He's hurt with a hamstring. So
well, initially, and this is why you don't draft guys that are injured initially. But I got him in the 10th round because of his shooting percentages and what he brings. And if you saw his fire on his face and the color of his skin last in the playoffs and what he did,
that's
dude,
awesome.
he's Peyton Pritchard. It's like these kids, these cats, they're fire, man. I really love the fire. Shaden Sharp, my goodness, with all getting rid of all their players and getting rid of the backcourt, freeing up time. This kid's got a 44 vertical inch, and he should have an explosive year. Chauncey Billups loves him, and Anthony Simons is gone, and they're weak in the backcourt. And look out for Shaden Sharp having a great season. And then Nikola Jovic just signed an extension, and he's 6'10", and they love him and they need him. However, he's battling Kel'el Ware, who's just been dominating the preseason and the summer leagues. And I think they enhance each other, and it's a good thing because Bam, it just hasn't taken the step forward that he needs to. He's still stuck into the same vibe.
He's a really good player. Right, he's a really good player. It just hasn't got to the next level. He's a really good player. So.
Next guy we're talking about, both Trent and I love, because we do love our Euro players, and this kid has grown 3 inches in the last year and a half. It is Matis Bruselis, the forward, and the Bulls' commitment to him signals his importance. He's now 6'10". Last year he averaged in the second half of the year 13 points, 4 rebounds, a block. in under 26 minutes as a rookie. That is not going to happen this year. And the kid, I think he's going to be on the precipice of being an all-star in the NBA. And,
He's a
and,
super
and,
talented guy, man.
oh
There
my
definitely has
God.
all the tools,
And,
the
and he,
athlete, everything.
yeah, it's so right,
Yeah,
Trent. And he says all
yeah.
the right things, and he seems really grounded and
Play
practical and
hard too.
pragmatic.
Plays
Yeah, and
defense.
he's nice kid, man. Whoever his parents are and all the coaches, he's been well raised, and I think it's a good system for him, and especially with Giddy at the point guard. My God,
Yeah,
that guy drops dimes like a billionaire, or he's a
yeah.
new millionaire, $100 millionaire.
They
The
still won't
next,
be in the playoffs.
well, it doesn't matter. I've drafted him on 5 of
Hey man,
my
I drafted him
eight
on the team
teams.
too. I would too. Yeah,
I love
I
him.
did too.
The next section is called "So Ambitious." Top sleepers. No one talks about this kid. I watched him a couple of games in the last part of the year. I didn't know anything about him. He's got freaky hair, and he's a guard forward, 6'7". His name's Kaishan George. And George is earning high praise for his off-season development, which I really didn't get to see, as evident in his play in the America Cup and Summer League, of which I both saw. His growing playmaking, defensive versatility, and the fact that they have no talent and one of the worst defensive teams in the NBA. They need somebody to believe in. And I think at 6'7", he's a guy I'm targeting in the late 9-10 rounds if nobody's picked him, because nobody knows him. I
Right.
can't even say his name properly. I believe it's Kaishan, but Keyshawn could be. I don't know.
I
Next
don't know.
game is another gunner that never should have been in the NBA and then found his way in on the right team in the right situation, Jalen Wells. Memphis has had so many injuries, and we won't go where those injuries are and why Jalen Wells is getting all the minutes, because it's because of
Yeah,
Ja Morant. They play the same position, and Morant's maybe played 45 games a year in his first 3 years. Watch out for
right.
this kid. Desmond Bane's been traded. There's more minutes, more opportunity. He can play D. He can score. He's a scorer. He's a bucket getter,
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
doesn't make mistakes. And he's big, and he plays D. Next guy is one of these guys that, like, if Trent was 6'10", and he could have been floating in and out of the NBA, this would have been Trent. And that's his name is Jay Huff. He's a 6'11" skinny white dude that's athletic as hell and cerebral and very talented, good eye-hand coordination, foot, and his efficiency stands out. Every single time he is not available on a team, he gets picked up and makes an impression, and then people just have to use him as a trade bait, or he just doesn't go. Indiana Pacers, perfect place. They have a big void at the center,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I think he could help them. Going back to youth, young forever, rookies who could make an impact. Obviously, Cooper Flagg. I got him on one of my teams in the 5th round. I watched him play. He dropped 4 dimes, got 2 steals and a block before he even took a shot.
Yeah.
This kid is
Yep.
special, man. There's
He's
something
a good
about him,
player.
Trent. I don't know what it is. I love him.
He's a good player.
Ace Bailey. Trent picked up Ace Bailey in the 10th pick, I believe, in
Yeah,
our last week's draft.
yeah,
Not this one. And the kid went out and had 2 games in a row, and he looks like he's going to be electric.
yeah,
Like, nice foresight. I thought he was going to be just one of these guys that has brain dead, but he seems like a nice kid. He's athletic. My God. And he's playing on one of the worst teams in the NBA, and he should get enough minutes. So take an eye. The other guy out of Washington is Trey Johnson. This guy is probably one of the best shooters that came out of the
right.
first round. He's just
Yeah,
a pure scorer, and he's a bucket getter. And in the NBA, if you're a shooter and a scorer and a bucket getter, you're going to find, especially on a team like Washington, they're terrible. They're like the 27th worst offensive team in the NBA. So keep an eye on him. The next guy I want to talk about is from China, Yang Hansen, 7-foot white guy, yellow white guy. And you look at him and you think, oh my God, man, he does not look like an athlete. He looks like he's been eating, he does not look athletic. He had 16 points in the 3rd quarter last night in Portland's game, and nobody could stop him. He
yeah,
can handle, he can drop dimes, he can shoot 3. Man, that kid, if you get him in the 10th round, 9th round, or if you're in 12 rounds, get him late. Take a look, because they have no depth now that
no,
Aiton's gone. And they're relying on the big young kid who's decent, but not quite there yet. In forwards, Paolo Banchero. I'll just say that, because Trent Trent loves him. I love him too. The kid's special, and it's a shame that he plays on the Magic because I don't know what's up. There's something wrong with that team. I just can't put my finger on it. Backcourt, but watch out for Paolo Banchero. Trey Murphy is probably one of the best young breakout bets for the season coming up. He's 6'8", he can shoot, and he has athleticism, and he plays for the Pelicans. They're terrible. And he should get everything, all the minutes he can eat. The next guy is a kid that I watched last year. He came on so strong in the second half of the year, and that is Denny Abdia. And he's from the Jerusalem in the Israeli leagues, and he's 6'9", and he had an amazing year. He's incredibly versatile. He is a 23, 10, and 5 guy in the last 25 games of the season. It reminds me of a poor man Larry Bird. I'll just leave it at that. He is exceptionally talented. Next guy is a Canadian that's on the right team at the right place at the right time, and that's Benedict Mathurin. He'll be starting at the two guard or small forward, and should average 20 plus points a game. He's a bucket getter. He rebounds. He's 6'6". He has a really nasty disposition.
Lots of potential.
Lots of potential. And then finishing it up with Terry Eason, this kid out of this small forward out of, and he had some injuries with his leg, out of Houston Rockets. My God, steals. Does everything for you. If you can stay healthy, he's going to be unbelievable. And to finish it up, I want to go into the centers. My favorite center in the NBA, no one talks about him. Trent loves him. Jalen Duren. In our draft earlier, I got him again. And double-double guy. He's one of the guys that I think he's going to be 25 points a game, 20 rebounds at some point. Maybe not that many points, but he could be a 20-20 guy.
Well, he had high. He had a couple of. He had a couple games last year where he was at 20 rebounds, 19 rebounds, stuff like that.
Many.
Potential crazy.
Yeah. Centers, the centers are thin. Evan Mobley, Cleveland Cavaliers. If you can get him, get him. Isaiah Hartenstein, I'm not a big fan because he's 7'1", but he's like a typical 7'1", and one of my old teammates when I played in the British Basketball League, who's 7'1". Always played with slumped over shoulders and arms down towards their knees, and never played big where they just lifted their hands up and took up space. He always brings the ball down. He is efficient, and let's face it, they spent $80 million on a 3-year contract, and they won the championship that first year. So I can't say anything negative. He's very talented, good for him, good kudos. Next guy, Kalal Ware. This kid, I think, is the best next to Jalen Duren. I think he's the best 7-footer in the NBA in terms of youth. Second year. Last night he had 20 and 14, and the night before he had 29 and
little frail at times, but
he's lithe, but he's got great touch. He can shoot. He drops dimes, and for a young kid, and the coach Spolstra just said, "Hey, oh my God!" And I'm getting him in the 7th round on a lot of my teams. So, dude, if he's available, grab him. And then a surprise pick. Because of the depleted Boston team when Tatum suffered his injury and they just traded everyone away. Neemias Queta, who played with Sacramento, he's a 7-footer in the EuroLeague in the World Championships, went ballistic. And there's a huge hole in the middle with all 3 of their centers gone. And I think somebody you need to really pay attention. And then last but not least, a shooting guard with the Utah Jazz. I just hate picking anybody up on Utah. But this kid in the Summer League was the 3rd best scorer in the Summer League. And he is going to be the starting 2 guard on the Utah Jazz. His name is Bryce Sensabaugh. He's 6'6", 235, and he is a bucket waiting to happen. Doesn't do much else, just scores. And he's strong and he's efficient. Plays D. He's a big dude. I love him. And that is our first preseason I
All right.
mean, yeah. So, anything to close up before we prepare for next week's episode, Trent? Thank you kindly for joining us.
No, just
Do you like the new logo? Do you see the logo with our name
yeah,
there on top?
yeah. I mean, it's taken half of my screen up, but yeah, I know.
No, I've reduced it down to 46% now.
Oh, frick.
But if your head wasn't the size of
That's nothing
Samsonite
to do with my
luggage,
head. It's nothing to
your
do with
head
my
is
health.
larger than a Samsonite luggage. You would be
There we go.
overcharged for extra weight on the
Mhm.
luggage weight
Okay.
thing. But I'm trying to be nice. It's early. It's only the first episode. We got to
I don't
like,
need you to be nice. Thanks.
yeah, I know. It's because you have niceness surrounding all of you. So, uh, that being said, I just want to say thank you very much, Trent. We're going to wrap everything up,
Yeah, man.
and we're at 50 minutes. Is there anything you'd like to share with everybody?
No,
Do
next
you want to
Monday.
talk about your before you go?
No,
If you could just, you don't want to talk about that?
no,
Your basketball academy that you've
no.
been
It's
working
still we're still
in the infancy.
plowing through still. So yeah,
It's called
takes a
Black
little time.
Dog, and it's going to be in Edmonton,
Yep.
Alberta, and it's going to be amazing. And I want to support it. I want to invest in it, and I'm
But
looking forward to
not
it.
quite
But
there yet.
no, it's okay. It's like anything that takes time. It took me 15 years to get this channel up. So hopefully you can do
Better.
your Black Dog Basketball
Well,
Academy a lot
it'll be
sooner than
happening.
15
It's going
years.
to be happening quite before that. Yes. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Anyways, Trent, really nice to see you, and thanks for joining us. I
Yeah,
really
man.
hope you enjoyed your summer, and looking forward to the season. In the
Yeah.
meantime, everybody, if you haven't seen this before, this is the second iteration, the Canadian Bro Show. The first iteration, we've done 54 episodes on sort of Canadian pop culture. We talk about Canadian things, and this iteration, this is our 30th episode, our second season about all hoop junkies from all basketball from Hoopjunkies, Pauly and Rowley. And this is our first episode in the preseason. We'll be doing episodes pretty much every Monday for the next
Yep.
29, 30 weeks. And thank you kindly for enjoying this. And if you do enjoy this and you've come back and you've joined us before, please subscribe. Our goal is to get to 500 subscriptions. We're almost at 100 right now. And there's been a lot of real good positivity. And like, subscribe, comment, share. Anything you can will help us. We really appreciate it. In the meantime, thank you again, Trent. And my name is Paul Bale. I'm the founder and host of the Canadian Bro Show. And one last thing before we go, please be kind out there, folks. I know on Trent's show, in the ticker, Trent also is on a radio show called the Ben Poulin Radio Show. Two guys and a rant, and I follow them, and they're really, really good at what they do. And I noticed Trent mentioned in one of his closing episodes. And just be kind out there. It's free. Don't expect anything. Do it out of the kindness of your heart and soul. We need this in this world. In the meantime, Trent, thanks again. We're going to finish
Yes, sir.
everything off and say hi to your lovely wife. And we will talk to you in the next couple of days. In the meantime,
Sure.
everybody, let's just try to be kind out there. Be friendly. And let's try to create a world where we all are inclusive and belong. And let the morons be morons, but let's just take over from the kindness of our heart and soul. Take care, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Peace, love, and happiness.